Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Giggity, real name is Mark, and in today's video we are going to be continuing our series of ranking every single gun in every Call of Duty game from worst to best. Obviously we did it with Modern Warfare first. Well, we did Modern Warfare Remastered just because it's got the same amount of guns and even some more. Then we did World at War. We just recently did Modern Warfare 2, and now we are doing the all 42 Black Ops 1 guns from worst to best, just on personal preference. I am not a professional or anything like that, so just, keep that in mind. It's just my personal opinion on which ones I like using the most. Obviously, that does kind of mean that the ones that are better are going to be going towards the top, just because I obviously like to use guns that are better rather than guns that suck. But that's pretty much, what we're ranking it on. It is like ranked on, how good they are, but how good they are in my opinion, not how good they are like stats wise, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of confusing, but yeah, we're sorry really quick about the 4-day missed upload there. I haven't uploaded in 4 days on this channel, and I do apologize for that. However, there's a problem with the family. Somebody was in the hospital. We kept having to go back there. Don't worry, the person is fine. It wasn't like they're in the hospital because they might die scenario. They were just in the hospital for something else, and so we're okay. Don't worry about it. But that's why I wasn't uploading in a couple of days there. I was busy with that. Also, we are not ranking any of the grenades or melee weapons because first of all, those aren't guns, and second, I have a whole other video planned out for those anyways, so we'll just do that. Also, they're only going to be the weapons that are usable in the multiplayer, so no campaign weapons. Like I know in some of these CODs they'll have like a weapon that you can use in campaign but you can't use in multiplayer. We're not ranking that. So just the usable multiplayer primary and secondary weapons. No kill streak weapons, none of that stuff. And also we're splitting it up into 6 tiers: the awful tier, bad tier, average tier, good tier, amazing tier, and the best tier. And song of the day is called Number 9 by NBA Youngboy. It is an absolute banger, my day. All right, it's a good song. Go give it a listen. I'm not the biggest NBA Youngboy fan, but this one's good. Without further ado, let's get right into it though with number 42, the worst Black Ops 1 gun, and that goes to the Strela 3. Obviously, yeah, pretty much all the worst weapons in any of these games are the ones that cannot kill, and that is what the Strela 3 is. I actually have seen videos of people accidentally getting kills because of flares from helicopters and stuff like that, and it like makes the rocket act all weird and go randomly into a different direction, and that's the only way you can get a kill with the missile of this gun. Besides that, you could, I guess, melee, but this is back before meleeing with the gun actually hit them with the gun. This is when you had a dedicated knife towards the melee slot, so even that wouldn't really count as the Strela 3. So yeah, it's the worst. In at the number 41 spot, also I thought for sure by this point YouTube would have maybe banned me, or maybe just made it like the visibility exclusive or whatever, because it's literally just videos talking about guns, and I thought you couldn't talk about it, but I guess we're fine. So either way, 41st place is the M72 Law. Yeah, the M72 Law just kind of sucks. It's yet again another launcher that's very, very slow, very heavy to use, and then obviously, as we all know, launchers aren't really the best weapons in any COD game to use. Breaking its way into the top 40, however, is going to the China Lake. Yet again, yeah, it's another launcher. This one, it's different, obviously. It's very, very fast for a launcher. Like, you can use it quickly and stuff like that. It's a more, infantry-focused launcher, whereas the M72 Law and all the other launchers in this game are more, obviously, kill-streak-focused. However, it's not good because it does barely any damage, and you still only have 2 shots. So even if you get both, kills with both 2 shots, it's still a weapon that can only maximum give you 2 kills, and that's obviously not great. Coming in at 39th place, however, is going to the RPG. I do believe it's the best of all the launchers in this game. The RPG is always just, first of all, it's a classic. The looks-wise, it's awesome. Shooting it like an actual rocket-propelled grenade launcher is super cool, obviously, and so we love that. But it's a good combo of both. It's slower for sure than the China Lake, but it hits just as heavy as the M72 Law, and so that's why the RPG is always probably just going to be the best launcher in almost any COD that it's in. All right, but now we are into. Well, we're still in the awful tier, but we're into weapons that aren't just launchers. 38th place is going to the ballistic knife. The ballistic knife, while it is kind of cool in terms of cool points, it's up there for sure. This is the first time that Call of Duty really added any sort of special weapons. You know what I mean? Even Modern Warfare 2, no real weapons in that game were special. There was obviously dual wielding weapons and stuff like that, but no special cool unique weapons, and this is the first time that they did it. However, the ballistic knife are still pretty freaking bad. They're obviously really, really hard to use and to use efficiently, and they're just not that great, but they're cool weapons. Coming in at 37th place, and the final one for the awful tier before we get into the bad tier is the crossbow. Pretty much the same thing I said about the ballistic knife applies to this. It's the other special weapon in this game. It's a crossbow, but it shoots explosive rounds, so if you stick somebody with it, it explodes later on and then kills them, but also it could potentially kill somebody even if you miss them by a little bit and they stand close enough to the crossbow tip while it explodes. it's still going to be pretty hard to use though. It's cool, it's got the aura for sure, but it doesn't actually kill that well. Alright, but now we're into the bad tier. Weapons in this tier they're just bad. There's really no point in using them, but at least they shoot bullets, so they're not horrible. It's not like you can get away with it if you're a good enough player, but probably not going to be your first choice. 36th place is the ASP. The ASP is probably one of the worst Call of Duty pistols of all time. The fact that this thing even exists is like an insult to Call of Duty players. I feel like they actually were just like, hey, here's a gun, and when you apply it, there should just be a big middle finger that comes up on your screen when you apply it instead of like actually applying the weapon, because it's just that bad. 35th place is not much better. It's going to the Makarov. It's another pistol in this game that just sucks. It yet again is another one of those weapons where it's like when you apply it, it just probably shows a picture of the developer's bare butt cheeks on your screen instead of the middle finger this time, because it's just that bad. There's just no reason to actually use the Makarov over other pistols in this game. It's horrendous, truly horrendous. It's not even cool either. Like, it looks boring. It's just bad in every single way. Coming in at 34th place is yet again also just freaking bad, and not bad in the sense of like, you know, Sydney Sweeney, Judge Judy levels of bad. No. Bad in the sense of like Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy bad. It's the Olympia. The Olympia is a 2-shot shotgun that only has 2 shots in it. It's a double-barrel shotgun. That's a better way of putting it. I don't know why I made it so difficult to understand. It's a double-barrel shotgun that does not really kill in one shot unless you're literally like pressed right up against them and giving them a smooch on the cheek. And then it might kill them in one shot, but even then it's iffy. And having only 2 shots obviously is really unfortunate. So it should be able to kill in at least one of those shots. This is not that. It's bad. It's horrible. It's the Olympias. Oh my goodness. Coming in at 33rd place is the other pistol that kind of sucks, the M1911. The M1911, obviously everybody has a fond memory of this gun in this game because it's super cool. It's the chrome M1911 with the absolutely amazing reload and shooting sound, and it's your starting pistol in COD Zombies, which is the Black Ops 1 Zombies at least, and actually World at War Zombies too, and Black Ops 2 Zombies. Yeah, it's your starting pistol in a lot of zombies. But either way, that doesn't mean it's good. It's still really bad in multiplayer to use for like actually having a secondary. The CZ75 and the Python are just significantly better than this. There's no reason to ever use the M1911 besides the fact that it sounds cool when reloading it and when shooting it. I mean, at 32nd, this is just bad. There's just no real reason to use it whatsoever. The PM63 is by far the worst SMG in this game, and in my opinion, one of the worst SMGs of all time. It's an SMG that shoots super fast and has a lot of recoil with only 20 bullets in the mag and shoots peas out of the barrel. It is horrible. There's a good chance you can shoot a whole mag at somebody in this thing, and because of bad hit registration with old Call of Duties, you will not kill them even with the 20 bullets you have, and so you just have to reload it all the time. You run out of ammo all the time. It's just so freaking atrociously bad. It is just not good at all. The PM63, at least it's a primary weapon, and like you can get away with doing it, I guess, but you're not gonna get very far with this thing. Coming in at 31st place, however, barely missing out in the top 30, is the Dragunov. Great googly moogly, the Dragunov is horrendous. I don't understand why the Dragunov gets put into CODs so many times, dude. Like, the Dragunov is in so many different Call of Duties, and it's just bad every single time. It's not a fun weapon to use, ever. I don't remember one time the Dragunov was good. The Dracon in Black Ops 3 was kind of okay, but why would you use that over the Locust or the SVG or even the PO6? Like, the Dragunov sucks. In this game, it sucks. It's for those who don't know, it's a semi-auto sniper that usually does not kill in one shot. You can get very lucky and get a one shot with it sometimes, but most of the time you're not going to get that, and it's just so bad. 30th place, breaking its way into the top 30, and the final one for the bad tier, as a matter of fact, before we get into the average tier, is not much better than the Dragunov, because it's the WA 2000, or technically the WA 2000. Everybody just says WA Call of Duty, okay? We're calling it the WA. I don't care what you say. It's the same thing as a Dragunov pretty much, but this one's kind of cool looking at least. Not cool in the sense of like, you know, David Hasselhoff cool, but cool still a little bit, you know? It's more like like your favorite YouTuber cool, you know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, he's cool to you, but probably not going to be cool to many other people. WA 2000, it just sucks. Semi-auto snipers in COD always just suck. Alrighty lads, but now we are into the average tier. So guns in this tier are average. You're definitely not going to get away with them, and unfortunately Black Ops 1 is kind of like the complete opposite of Modern Warfare 2, where a lot of the guns are just really, really weak, and so it's pretty much you can only use the top contenders to actually be competitive. And so even the weapons in the average tier, they're average in the Call of Duty Black Ops 1 universe, but they're pretty bad in the grand scheme of things. 29th place is the CZ75. The CZ75 has a full auto mod, which is pretty cool, and it also looks cool. It's just like a cool looking pistol. But it's just, yet again, it's just, why would you ever use this over the Python? You just wouldn't. Coming in at 28th place, it's going to the Scorpion. I have a spoiler alert for you. A lot of the SMGs in this game are pretty freaking bad. the whole point of SMGs is obviously that they're fast, and they are fast in this game, but they don't hit at all. The Scorpion's the same thing as a PM63. It's a little bit more reliable, but it's just too little bullets, too low damage. It's just not good enough. Coming out of 27th place is the biggest insult known to mankind, because it's the M60. The M60, as we all know, is a super cool weapon. The M60 is like the weapon that are mounted in like AC-130s and freaking attack helicopters in real life, which obviously implies that they should be pretty strong. But then Call of Duty got it twisted somewhere and decided, you know what, we're just going to make them horribly weak, and that's what they did with the M60. It shoots very, very slow as well for an LMG, and so that's really unfortunate. And it also looks horrendously large. Like, there's a reason why these things are mounted LMGs in real life, because holding them looks ridiculous. It looks like I'm holding a freaking toddler in my hands and trying to shoot out of it. It's just not going to work. Coming in at 26th place is going to the weapon where its name actually kind of makes sense, the stakeout, because the absolute only way you're ever going to get a kill with this weapon is if you stake out inside of the closest quarters building known to man. Not even a building. Stake out in like a garden shed. And that's the only way you're going to get a kill with a stakeout in Call of Duty Black Ops 1. It's so unbelievably bad for its range. The only reason why it's so much higher than the Olympia is because at least you have 4 bullets in the mag. Like, you have a chance of hitting them again with the second bullet before you have to reload. And you're realistically speaking, it's not that much better than the Olympia. It's really not. It's pretty freaking weak. 25th place is the worst AR in the game, in my opinion. The FNFAL, or the FN fail, because it's a fail of a weapon. This gun sucks. It's a semi-auto gun, semi-auto AR. There's only 2 of these in this game, and this is the one that I think is just absolutely horrendous. It looks kind of cool and makes cool noises when you shoot it, though. I will give it that. But besides that, it is so freaking bad. It's another one of those instances where, like, all these old CODs, because of the bad hit registration, it kind of sucks to use semi-auto weapons because you're gonna miss shots even if you're hitting them dead on. And so the FNFAL is just not the one. And then it's like a 3-shot semi-auto gun. Like, that's just not it, man. Coming in at 24th place yet again is another SMG, the Mac 11. Great, good way to tarnish a cool gun, Call of Duty, because the Mac 11 is a pretty cool gun in real life, but in this game it's just horrendously bad. It kind of makes sense, I guess, if you think about it, like, quote-unquote lore-wise, because, like, yeah, Mac 11 in a battlefield against real-life military guns is probably not going to compete that well, but it's just so bad. It's a better version of, like, the PM63 is the best way I can put it. It also kind of looks cool, which obviously is a plus and everything, but overall, you're not going to be using this thing over other SMGs. Coming in at 23rd place, however, is going to be going to the M14. The M14 is the other semi-auto assault rifle in this game that is, yet again, also pretty bad. The only good part of the M16 is it's like, you know, or the M14, I should say, is it has a special place in all of our hearts for Zombies fans, because obviously, you know, it's a starting weapon off the wall that you usually buy for 500 points, at least if you're a beginner. And so, yeah, you know, it's cool in that sense. But besides that, it sucks. In multiplayer, it sucks. It's also a cool looking weapon, though, and also has a pretty cool reload. I like the reload of the M14. Makes me happy. We're coming in at 22nd place, and the final one for the average tier before we get into the good tier is the HS-10. The HS-10 is a semi-auto shotgun, so it's automatically a little bit better than the stakeout and the Olympia, because it does have, you can follow up your shots pretty quickly with the HS-10. On top of that, it's the only shotgun in this game where you can dual wield them, which makes it okay. The only downside to the HS-10 is it has the range of like a friggin' Nerf gun. Honestly, not even. Like, that's an insult. Nerf guns could at least hit them from like 10 feet away. The HS-10 has the range of like a dollar store water gun. Like, it's just horrendously bad. You can, like, if you could probably reach out and flick the enemy in the forehead and kill them better that way than the HS-10. If you're up really close to them, like sniffing their butt cheeks, yeah, you definitely are one-shotting them with the HS-10. But any other range besides sniffing butt cheek range, you're in for a rough time. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now we are into the good tier, and yet again, even though this is the good tier for this list, in the grand scheme of Call of Duty guns, these guns are still pretty bad compared to the vast majority of COD guns. In Black Ops 1, they're good, but they're not in anything else. 21st place is the HK-21. It's another LMG that's just... it shoots too slow. It also has a large amount of recoil. It's a very, very slow weapon. LMGs in general are usually obviously not very strong, and this one is definitely not going to break any records. Breaking its way into the top 20, however, is going to be going to the Spectre, another SMG. This one's okay compared to the other ones, just because it does have ammo. It doesn't shoot as fast as the other ones, but due to that, it also means that if you can't really hit your shots, it's kind of harder because you don't have as many moments to make mistakes, if that makes sense, because like it shoots slightly slower than the others. It's fine is the best way I can put it, but god, the SMGs in this game are just so freaking bad. Coming in at number 19 spot is the final classified SMG of the class, the Caparis. The Caparis looks really cool, and realistically that's probably the only reason why it's getting all the way up here at the number 19 spot. I just love the Caparis because of its design and how it like shoots and everything, when the way the bullets like fly straight up. Like, it's just a cool weapon overall. Realistically though, it yet again sucks, and it's really not worth it either, because you have to buy every other SMG in the class in order to get the Caparis, and then you have to buy the Caparis as well, and it's just not worth that. It's not worth all that trouble. It's really not. It's a pretty weak weapon. Coming in at the number 18 spot is that one AR, every COD has it, where it's just overshadowed by every other AR, the Enfield. The Enfield isn't horrible or anything like that, but yet again, like, why would you use the Enfield over any other AR in this game? There really is no real reason for it. It's just kind of forgotten because it's just weaker in every other aspect than them. But like, for example, Modern Warfare 3 had that with the CM901. Modern Warfare 2 had that with like the M4A1. There's just like always a weapon in those games where it's just like they're kind of forgotten because the other ARs are just so freaking strong, and that's the Enfield in this one. It's not horrible or anything, but why would you use it over the others? Coming in at the number 17 spot, really doesn't deserve to be this high. It's pretty bad, but it's the Uzi. The Uzi is just cool. It's an Uzi, and that's why it's all the way here at the number 17 spot. It's not good, don't get me wrong, like, I do not recommend using this weapon, but it's kind of cool. And on top of that, even though it's like pretty bad, obviously, most of the guns in this game are bad, as I said before, so it doesn't really like set itself apart from the others. It's just bad like the others are, and that's fine with me because it looks cool, and I like the looks of an Uzi. Also, I'm like choking right now. Great googly moogly. I just had the biggest coughing fit of my life after I ended that video. That was horrible. 16th place, however, is going to the final AR in the game, the classified AR in the class, the G11. The G11 is a 3-round burst, absolutely wild looking weapon in this game that has a scope from stock, so you have to like take off the scope if you want to have iron sights. It's kind of weird, but either way, the G11, it's okay. I just cannot get over the looks of this thing. What is this? It looks like I'm holding a suitcase. It doesn't even look, not even a suitcase. It looks like I'm holding like a rail gun or something from like GTA Online. Like, this thing doesn't look real. It looks weird. And then the handle for it is like so misplaced. It like just sticks out of the bottom, like one of those, like if you're holding like a weird stick, you know, and it has a weird piece of stick hanging off the bottom, and you're like, get rid of that. Coming in at 15th place, yet again, it's another one of the weapons where it's like, yeah, it's good, but why would you ever use it? The RPK. The RPK is cool, and it's pretty good in zombies, which is kind of the reason why it's up here at the number 15 spot. But overall, yet again, do you genuinely think that if you go back and play Black Ops 1 right now and go into a team deathmatch multiplayer lobby, you really think you're going to find anybody using the RPK? Well, spoiler alert, buddy, it's not going to happen. No one's going to use this weapon. It's just not good in any way. Coming in at 14th place, it's kind of cool, actually, but definitely not anything worth writing home about. It's the PSG-1. The PSG-1 is another semi-auto sniper, and I mentioned before how semi-auto snipers usually suck in COD, and they usually do, unless like it's a Barrett 50 cal or something, but usually they're pretty bad. The PSG-1 feels very, very strong for a semi-auto sniper. It most of the time is going to get a one-shot, and when it does get those one-shots, it's a really good weapon. But then it's just like every once in a while it misses, and it's a very inconsistent one-shot style gun. It's better than the Dragunov and WA 2000 by an absolute freaking landslide. There's a whale between those two in terms of their gun skills. But overall, it's definitely not a good option. Coming in at 13th place, however, and the final one for the good tier before getting into the amazing tier is the M16, another 3-round burst weapon in the ARs class. 3-round burst is fine and everything like that. It's okay. The M16 does have weird hit registration, in my opinion. I feel like it never really hits the enemies. If you can hit, it can kill in 3 shots, which is good, obviously, but overall, it's definitely a big step down from the M16s that we knew and loved back in the day. It's one of the weaker 3-round burst Call of Duty guns, but that makes sense for Black Ops 1 since pretty much every gun in this game was pretty weak. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, now we are into the amazing tier. So weapons in this tier, not only are they amazing in this game, but we're finally getting to the point where like they can be talked about in the grand scheme of Call of Duty games, and they're still going to be good. Do I think they're going to be amazing in the grand scheme of COD games? Definitely not. They might be in the good or even average tier, but overall, they're at least okay. 12th place is the Spaz 12. The Spaz 12 is the only shotgun in this game that's actually somewhat viable of an option. It's still pretty bad, and I think you would still probably have better luck running around and licking the enemies to death like a Tootsie Pop, but it's gonna at least kill them sometimes, and range is okay. And since it's semi-auto, you can miss a couple shots, and it's not the HS-10 where it only has 4, so it's okay. Just definitely not great though. Coming in at the number 11th spot is one of the only SMGs in this game that are actually usable. There's like 3 of them, and this is one of them. The MPL. The MPL is not horrendous. I think a lot of people don't really remember the MPL from Black Ops 1. Like, people just don't even really talk about this gun, but it wasn't too bad in multiplayer. Like, it was definitely, again, not as good of an option as other guns in this game, for sure, because it's an SMG, and pretty much any SMG in this game was pretty bad, but it's usable, and that's enough for an SMG. That's in this game, at least. Breaking its way into the top 10, however, is going to the final LMG that you unlock, the Stoner 63. Also, I forgot to mention the HS10 was the final shotgun you unlock, and the PSG-1 is the final sniper you unlock, and actually the CZ-75 is the final AR you unlock. So yeah, forgot to mention those. Either way, the Stoner 63 is an LMG in this game that kind of acts like an AR, and because it acts like an AR, it actually makes it a viable option. It pretty much is just an AR. I really don't understand why it's in the LMGs class, but it is for some reason. And so, since it is an AR, it's okay. It's obviously not as good as some of the top contenders of the ARs class, but for an LMG, this is definitely your best bet. Coming in at 9th place kind of checks off all the same boxes, but this time for the pistols class, because it's the Python. The Python is it's the revolver of Black Ops 1. Every COD has at least one revolver in it, and this is this game's revolver, and it is by far the strongest sidearm in the game. It has 6 shots, so you can miss a couple and still hit them pretty well. Dual wield is good. Snub nose barrel is not, but it's kind of cool. Also, I can have a sniper scope on it, and so that's obviously pretty cool. But it's another one of the ones where it's like, it's kind of all the way up here because it's literally like your only option for a secondary. Like, it's not actually that good or anything like that. Like, you're not going to be running around with a Python and be able to get like nukes. Obviously, you can't get nukes in Black Ops 1, but you know what I mean. But it's pretty, since it is pretty much your only option for a secondary, it's pretty good. Coming in at 8th place, however, is going to go to the AUG. The AUG it's a little bit of an unfortunate one. It's one of those ones where it's just like, it's just kind of forgotten about because there's just so many ARs in this game that are so freaking strong that why would you really use the AUG? The AUG is still good, and you're still going to be able to get some kill streaks with it and still be able to have a good time with the AUG. It's kind of like another Enfield situation. Not as bad as the Enfield, though. This is definitely a lot better than the Enfield, but it's just another one of those where it's like, there's just so many freaking strong ARs, dude. Like, why would you use the AUG ever? It's a good gun in this game. You can get away with it, sure, but you're not going to win a gunfight against a commando. Coming in at 7th place is one of the other SMGs that are actually a viable option, the MP5K. Yeah, the MP5K, the MPL, and the other SMG that we haven't talked about yet are the only 3 SMGs in this game that are actually somewhat usable. The MP5K, at least you get it at level 1 too, which is pretty cool. You know, it also looks cool. I love the MP5K. I also love the reload of the MP5K. I will say that's one thing Black Ops 1 did really well, the reload of weapons. I know that sounds stupid, but the reload of weapons in Black Ops 1, almost all of them are like kind of cool and they make cool noises. But yeah, the MP5K, it's a strong multiplayer weapon for sure. Like, it's fine, but yet again, it is an SMG in this game, so it's definitely weaker than the ARs, but not by so much that it's significantly noticeable. Coming in at 6th place, however, and the final one for the amazing tier before we move on into the best tier is the AK-47. The AK-47 is awesome. Everybody loves the AK-47. It's an iconic gun in real life. It's an iconic gun in Call of Duty games. It's in, I think, every single first-person shooter game I've ever played in my life. Like, I genuinely think AKs, whether it's the AK-47 or the AK-12, are in every single one of the games I've played ever. That's first person. So obviously it's super iconic and everything. And in this game, it's really, really good. It just has a little bit too much recoil to be like a top contender, and doesn't do as much damage as you want it to, but it's still very viable option. You can definitely get away with using it. Okay, but now we are into the best tier. So these top 5 weapons ran the game in Call of Duty Black Ops 1. Like, if you're not using one of these top 5 weapons, you got to be a pretty skilled player to actually do good in the game, because these are like the only 5 that are actually usable. In 5th place is the Commando. A lot of people say the Commando is the best gun in the game. I do not agree with that. I think it's absolutely incredible. It's super good. Don't get me wrong. It also looks cool, just the way the strap hangs down. I love that aspect of the Commando. It's one of the cooler looking weapons in the game for sure. But it's definitely not, in my opinion, the best AR, and not even really that close to the other 2. So that's why I'm putting it here at number 5, but it is still very, very good. And coming in at 4th place is, in my opinion, the best SMG in this game by far. It's not even in my opinion. It is just the best SMG in the game. The AK-74U. The AK-74U is a pocket AK-47, obviously, as it implies, and it acts that way. It's by far the best SMG. No ifs, ands, or buts about it in Black Ops 1. Like, this is the only SMG that actually can compete with the top ARs in the game, and that's saying something. The AK-74U is incredible. You will still see AK-74Us in Black Ops 1 all the time, and which is actually a pretty good thing, because I like the AK-74U. I think it's a cool gun. And coming in at third place is going to the wonderful L96A1. Obviously, this is my guilty pleasure ranking of the list, but L96s are the bolt-action sniper in Black Ops 1, for those who don't know. And and obviously, bolt-action snipers are always used for quick scoping and stuff like that because they get consistent one-shot kills. This is the only sniper in this game that can do that. Obviously, quick scoping in Black Ops 1 was kind of hard just because when you aim down sights, it would actually aim your sight away a little bit if you were using a sniper from where you were previously aiming, just to try and get rid of quick scoping, because back in the day, they didn't like it. Which is really stupid, but either way, that's what they did. And so quickscoping in this game was definitely not as popular as Modern Warfare 2 or even Modern Warfare 3, but for quickscoping, if you were going to use snipers, which obviously using snipers is one of the most fun ways to play Call of Duty, even especially in my opinion, then the L96A1 was the only option for you, really, and so it was made its way around. This is the part of the video though where I do like to mention how this is why it's personal opinion, because technically speaking, yeah, the vast majority of users, myself included, I'm not saying I'm a good player, but the vast majority of users are going to have a better time using just a full auto weapon. You would probably get a better KD with something like the PM63 than you would with the L96A1. But there's the aspect of having fun and just like being iconic that plays a role into it, and the L96A1 is that one. And coming in at second place, the silver medal, very, very close to first. It kind of actually depends on the map a little bit and the type of player you are, because it's going to the Galil. Or I always called it the Gale, but I guess I was horribly wrong there, because now every single time I watch a Call of Duty video, people just call it the Galil, and I'm like, oh, all right, I guess I got that wrong. I thought it was the Gale for some reason. But either way, yeah, the Galil, God, it feels weird saying it that way because I've just never said it that way. The Galil is super, super strong. It has a little bit of recoil for sure, but the iron sights are perfect. The gun is perfect. It's absolutely incredible. Again, like I said, I think it really depends on the type of person you are. If you're a person that likes to take it slower and likes to, you know, kind of not camp necessarily, but just, you know, get some long range kills and stuff like that, the Galil is definitely the option for you. But if you're not, then the other one is the option. That is going to the absolutely wonderful FAMAS. The FAMAS from Black Ops 1, oh my god, it is perfect in every single way. It is so unbelievably strong that it's in my opinion, it's a more impactful gun than the ACR in Modern Warfare 2. Because in Modern Warfare 2, every gun was a viable option pretty much, whereas in Black Ops 1, that's definitely not the case. So since the FAMAS was so strong, it made its freaking impact on the community. It was used in every single game by multiple players in the game. It is such a good freaking gun in every single way. I think it is slightly better than the Galil in the vast majority of situations. However, I do think the Galil is better at range. That's the only instance where I think the Galil would be the better option. But besides that, the FAMAS is just so much better. It also looks freaking cool. It's a bullpup weapon. It sounds amazing when you're just shooting. It sounds like metal banging against metal. It sounds so cool. And then the reload sounds cool. Everything about the FAMAS is just freaking awesome. Then throw a suppressor on it. It sounds even cooler. God, the FAMAS is good. And they have remastered it a couple times. I want it in every COD. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video ranking all 42, was it? Yeah, 42 Black Ops 1 guns from worst to best. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the comment section down below. And yeah, obviously, like I said before in the intro, this doesn't actually include every single like usable holdable gun, because it obviously doesn't include wonder weapons, some zombies, or special weapons that you can only use in campaign, or even kill streaks like the Grim Reaper, for example, or the Valkyrie missiles in multiplayer. It doesn't include like weapons like that. Obviously, it's primary, secondary weapons in all CODs. That's kind of what we're doing, because if I included literally every holdable gun, I feel like first of all it would take significantly longer, obviously, but also a lot of people wouldn't even really want to watch that. Like, I feel like that's just not that interesting, because who cares about all the campaign guns that you can't use in multiplayer? Like, I don't like. I just think it's pretty pointless. But maybe we'll make like a video one day ranking all like zombies weapons or something like that. But obviously, yeah, the next video is going to be ranking all Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, the original, because we're going in chronological order of release, all those guns from worst to best. But let me know if you guys would like to see other videos sprinkled in here and there, or if you guys would just like to see me do this series and finish up this series and then find another series and just keep doing what we're doing right now. I like what we're doing right now, but because it just feels better, it feels like more organized, if you will. But if you guys would like to see me sprinkle in some other sort of video series and stuff like that in between these videos, just so as not all the same pretty much, I could definitely do that. Just let me know. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night. Also, really quick, massive thank you. We're at 270 subscribers, guys. I know I keep saying it every single time I get a chance to, but that's because I want to thank you guys every single time I get a chance to. So thank you guys very much. Das Vidania, have a nice night.